Fresh questions have arisen about one of the remotely exploitable flaws in Microsoft's products, which was revealed during the company's monthly Patch Tuesday announcement. The questions revolve around whether the company's initial advice for mitigating the vulnerability was sufficient. The number of vulnerabilities patched on Tuesday was the highest for a singke month since September 2020. The flaw in question, CVE 26809, an RPC runtime library remote code execution vulnerability, was given a CVSS rating of 9.8 and required no user interaction to be exploited, meaning it was wormable. Regarding CVE 26809, 1. Block TCP port 445 at the enterprise perimeter firewall. However, systems could still be vulnerable to attacks from within their enterprise perimeter. ZPAWWIQOY4. April 13, 2022. Microsoft's mitigation advice was to block TCP port 445 at the enterprise perimeter firewall. But the company added later that systems could still be vulnerable to attacks from within their enterprise perimeter. Security researcher Marcus Hutchinson Twitter, with CVE 26809, "I'm not sure what's required to reach the vulnerable code, but I've been able to reach the containing function over RPC, as well as SMB. So, unless the exploit condition is protocol dependent, then blocking just 445 may not be enough." Asked about the possibility that the advice was not sufficient, Tenable staff research engineer Satnam Norung responded, "Based on what's been shared so far, Microsoft says that as a mitigation measure, blocking port 445 is sufficient to thwart internet-based attacks." PSA: Patch CVE 26809 Windows RPC remote code execution. Before we see Blaster Worm all over again. Miko, April 13, 2022. Astute researchers like Marcus Hutchins, who have been investigating this bug, believe it might be possible to reach the vulnerable code through other ports like 135. However, we don't definitively know if it's possible to create the conditions to exploit the vulnerability over other ports or protocols. This is certainly a vulnerability to keep an eye on. Further research continues.